Alright guys, so first off, this is going to be a bit of a longer video, but what I want to try to do is I want to take the relevant to PvP portions of the video and do a little bit of commentary on my thought process and decision making when it came to that, starting from the beginning of the raid to each of my encounters throughout the raid. So enjoy. Alright, so anytime that you spawn into reserve, you usually have people to your left and to your right that are looking to kill you. So in the beginning of the raid, you want to move quickly and decisively, which I do off the start. And I start heading to my closest building. Now, while I'm running, I'm free looking to the left at the other spawn. That spawns right at the corner bunker there. And sometimes you can get some forewarning if they're about to shoot you. But I have my eyes on these guys the entire time that I run up, and it allows me to continue running without having to be worried about getting shot in the side of the head. They decide instead to push in themselves instead of engage.
Don't you fucking do it. Don't you fucking snipe at me, bitch. Yeah, that's what I thought, pussy.
Excuse the shit talking, but talking trash, at least to yourself, and then being polite to your enemies to their face is a good way to go about psyching yourself up, especially in solo play when you're going to be against more than one person. You know PvP is coming, to avoid anxiety. Alright, so the way that I executed this play was, as soon as I got into the building myself, I assumed that they were most likely going to be going underground as well, because of the fact that that's a usual entry point for people running that route. It's the closest entryway from their spawn and one of the safest ones to get to. However, as soon as I got below ground, I could hear them on gravel, which confirmed it, and then I heard them on wood, which confirmed their location again, all based on map experience. And then I basically just moved to the corner and held a right side peek at head level, and he peeked me. And even though he had a flashlight, I kind of know where to shoot on flashlights. You typically just want to shoot a little bit up into the side of them, obviously, because of where the person holds the gun. They'll always be holding the gun on the right side of their body. Therefore, the flashlight's always going to be, you know, from your perspective to the left of their head. So if you can kind of get the hang of that, it's not too bad. But as soon as I killed the target, I knew I still had a little bit of ammo, so I continued to hold the corner in case his buddy peeked. But then as soon as I don't hear or see anybody else, I fall back, recheck your ammo and your armor and your health if you got hit or anything like that, and then try to gain more information on his teammate's location with audio.
Look at him, goddamn pussy!
I agree. That was your boy.
Alright, so what you're going to see now is basically, now that I have information on where he is, because he stepped on wood again, meaning he's still in that middle room, as I expected, and he isn't going to re-peek where his buddy died at, I'm now going to try to unpredictably move, while at the same time moving as little as possible so that he can't get exact audio on my location, and move to unpredictable spots. But also at the same time, what I tried to do here was I tried to move in such ways that the audio that he did pick up would possibly bait him into peeking me, because I definitely had the advantage here, and you'll see that he doesn't peek me, which is a very smart move. But try to position yourself in weird, unpredictable ways, while at the same time giving you as much cover as possible, but not being predictable or any kind of spot that people would typically go to, and get your enemy to show himself first.
Fuck, he's gone!
Alright, so you notice there, instead of continuing to hold the angle in the hallway where I was in the middle of the open, I was trying to be unpredictable, but it was still not very safe. I repositioned, and I'm going to spend some more time trying to provoke him into peeking me or revealing his position while I continue to close the distance, since I have an SMG.
Did you hear that?
Alright, so the game plan here is to use our utility items such as explosives, now that we located him in the room, to force him to reposition in the room, narrowing his location and providing a better advantage to me to take him out when I have to breach the room. And that's why I always like to carry one explosive and one flashbang on my person, and right before I breach a sketchy area I try to flashbang for the chance that they were looking my way and now they're blind. We're slowly pushing him back further and further, and at this point his best bet would have been to just run away instead of to continue to take the fight, especially because of the amount of damage that he's already been taking.
Just die already!
Alright, so a good lesson to remember here is that PvP in Tarkov starts as soon as you get information on the enemy. Now that can start miles away because if you hear an unsuppressed gunshot, or that can start as soon as you hear a footstep nearby you. But I heard these guys run up, and as soon as I heard them on gravel, I knew their location based on my map experience. So instead of sitting back and waiting for them to discover me, I chose to be aggressive and fight them where I knew they were, because they would have to, in that quick moment, decide and determine where I'm at and decide a plan of action and have to basically react. So I have an advantage by rushing them at this point, even though it's risky, especially with there being more than one of them. However, you notice that I caught him out in the middle of the open with absolutely no cover, and he was less geared than me. So he was very surprised, and I was able to beat him luckily by hitting my shots, and his teammate, in fact, instead of assisting, backed out of the room because of the violence of the action. So you can overwhelm squads this way by acting instead of being passive, and that's why, in my opinion, as a solo player, aggression against squads is one of the only ways to win.
Alright, we can talk about this.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yes, sir.
So the wallbang attempt there is something that I like to do that works surprisingly often if people don't take cover properly and they leave themselves exposed behind penetrable items. But the more important thing to take away from this is that you can utilize VoIP to bluff, negotiate, or intimidate, or to team up or whatever, but in PvP and stuff, using VoIP to detect people's presences or using it to bluff your way out of situations as a solo player is an invaluable tool that we have now.
Gonna kill you all! Open this door.
Alright, so same thing as last time. We want to use information gathering skills to determine his exact location, but instead of just rushing in there, even though I know roughly where he's at right now, we want to try to bait him into making a mistake, and also at the same time slowly engage in combat, because we also want to give time for his teammate to make a mistake and reveal his position if he does have one, because so far I've only heard one person. So we're running low on utility items. In fact, I don't think I have any grenades at this point, so peeking the hallway is more of a 50-50 because he knows where I'm at and I know where he's at. So that's why we're trying to make him go into a mistake instead of just confronting him in the hallway, as we also, like I said, gather more information. Alright, so after I killed those guys, I heard a couple more guys come down. And the way that I tried to play it was basically by using my positioning, which was in a very, very dark area of the room, to my advantage by assuming that he wasn't going to be able to see me, right? So I tried to land precise kill shots with each shot and shoot as little as possible so that he wasn't able to basically locate me on sound. And we'll just see how this one played out.
way your dumbass did that again.
Okay.
Alright, so an interesting thing happened in this raid, and it turns out that his buddy that he was talking to in the beginning actually got him stuck behind a door trying to do a little jumps into a rat spot. So I wanted to kill on him, and I couldn't blow him up because I ran out of grenades. But what he ended up doing was, I was planning on leaving, and he actually threw a grenade that he had, either trying to kill himself or trying to bait me. But I came back to the scene, and I identified that he was probably still alive because the grenade looked like it had exploded on the other side of the door based on the shrapnel marks in the wall. And the way that I went about killing him, and something that's valuable to keep in mind, is that you can actually use blind fire to shoot around corners, obviously, but what you can do is, he's behind this door and I didn't want to expose myself in case he had some sort of KS-23 shotgun or something. And in fact, you'll see that he still hits my arms, which almost kills me, but I do end up getting him, and I didn't know until the end of the raid. But alright guys, that's it. Hopefully you learned something. Thanks for watching guys, and stay tuned for more PvP breakdowns soon. Good luck in your raids.